Okay. All right. Hola, konnichiwa. Hello, and welcome to Ballhawk Talk, the first and as of right now, only Ballhawk themed podcast where if there's hawking, we're talking. My name is Tony, one of the co-hosts, and you know what? I'm going to toss it over and I'm going to defer it to our $700 million host, Aiden, to tell us what we have planned on this episode.
All right. Thank you for that expert introduction there, Tony. We've got a packed plan for this one. But before we begin, I want to start with two quick announcements. First, yes, it's been a while. I apologize. Life has been nuts with the busy school year, which ends in June, by the way. Expect maybe 2 or 3 more. Can't guarantee that, but estimating 2 or 3 more episodes after this one. And then once summer comes around, I'd like to make it a monthly schedule, like one for June, one for March, one for, you get it. Second, as Tony said, co-host. He is our new official co-host. For those loyal to the podcast since the Larry Larson and Cole Adkins days, you'll know that Tony has been a very popular guest and a fan favorite to all. No surprise there. And with that in mind, plus the fact that he's quickly become one of my new best friends and forever will be, very honored to announce that Tony will now be our new co-host. Tony, how do you feel about that?
I'm pretty awesome, and I will gladly be your Yoshinobu Yamamoto to your Shohei. So I just want to shout out one of my favorite guys, David Welch. He was my co-host on the offshoot Ballhawk Lab. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And don't worry, even though we were Hall & Oates fans, we are not falling out like Hall & Oates. So expect really good things from Aiden. He's the one who revived this.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just happy to be on board.
Happy to have you on here. All right. Now with that out of the way, let's get down to business. First of all, it's the off-season. Boo. All right, maybe it's not all that bad. Surely we Hawks have stuff to do in the 5 months without baseball, right? We'll shift into completely different interests, including one that myself and Tony share, hockey. Specifically, snagging pucks at games. Puck hawking, if you will. Then we'll end off with discussing what kinds of things we'll have planned for the 2024 baseball season. And before it arrives, like what kind of off-season stuff. So, yeah, without further ado.
All right. So, hockey. Aiden, I know that recently you've been to a few games already and maybe have some in your collection. So, what's that been like, and how many are in your collection, and how many are you going after?
That's very good questions. As of now, I think I have maybe 15 or so from local games. I don't go to that many NHL games. Mostly AHL, like the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and stuff like that. But yeah. And then Tony, I know both of us used to play hockey, so that's where the interest comes from.
Yep.
And living in Minnesota, you've been to a couple games yourself.
Yes, really like going to games. You know, they can be expensive, especially like you're saying, the pros. But yeah, I grew up playing the sport and went to a college that the only Division I sport on campus was hockey. So got to go to a bunch of D1 games, and you know, it was fun. Caught a few pucks there, and now have gotten a couple at NHL arenas, but no game pucks yet. But I know that you recently got a special one that was holiday themed. Am I correct?
That is right. So
Scranton,
before we get to that,
okay,
we're gonna quickly review what we have for baseball. So this is just your typical Major League game ball. And then obviously we have the very sought after commemoratives, like we have jersey retirements or Hall of Fame celebrations like the Phillies Wall of Fame.
That's so pretty.
different season celebrations like anniversaries, like the Marlins had this year for their 30th. We have All-Star games. These are really cool. Love these. And then World Series. They don't look this cool anymore. I wish they did, but can't do much about that. And then wish we still have these two. This one was from Mother's Day.
That's one of the prettiest baseballs of all time.
I'd have to agree there. Definitely one of the best looking. But for hockey, we have pucks that are used in game and before games. So like Tony said, just recently, we have the Christmas one for the Penguins. They've been doing that for a couple of seasons. Now, the difference between baseballs and pucks, the design is constantly changing. So we have this one from last season. This was from their Outdoor Classic. You can see the design is a bit different. They have that big outer ring. And then we have the opening night one from 2 seasons ago. Very basic design there. And that's when they started doing them. So the design has only gone up from there. And then with game pucks, we have just your standard one. Cool thing about pucks is that they have the team logo and commissioner signature. That's something I wish MLB did. And some teams have their logo, and then they have sponsors. So like PNC is the one for the Penguins. I know Service Electric is the one for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Pretty sure Arby's does the Hershey Bears, stuff like that. And
Which
then
that's different than Major League Baseball's, because on Major League Baseball's, even if the arena like Target Field is sponsored, they can't put the name Target on it or have any sponsorship on the ball itself. So it just say inaugural season Minnesota Twins or something like that.
No, and I'm actually kind of happy that sponsors don't get the right to put their logo on the balls. I think that'd be a bit too much, but cool for pucks because they have 2 sides and you gotta fill both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then like baseballs, we have different seasons. So like this season is the Chicago Wolves 30th season. So they have them for that. And then I know this season the Penguins are 25 years old. So they have game pucks for that. I could throw a pic of it up right now because I don't yet have one. And then Lehigh Valley Phantoms, it's their 10th season in Lehigh Valley. So they have them for that too. But yeah.
What's your favorite puck that you've gotten so far?
The favorite? That's a good question. It's in my bedroom right now, but I got the puck that was scored with to win the game in overtime. It was Penguins versus, I think, Syracuse Crunch 2 years ago. And yeah, that one's definitely one of the favorites.
That's cool.
And I really like this Christmas one this year.
And who do you cheer for in the NHL?
NHL, I'm a big Flyers fan.
How about, is second place maybe the Penguins?
Second place, probably the Penguins, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Rangers.
Okay. Nice.
What about you, Tony? I know you're a big Wild fan.
Yeah, actually grew up an Avalanche fan, but once Patrick Law retired, my fandom kind of left. So
I hear you there.
Yeah.
It's like when Claude Giroux left the Flyers, my love for them kind of dipped down the tiniest a bit, but did die down a little bit.
It's tough when those fan favorites leave.
Definitely, yeah. He's what powered our fandom for the 13 years he was here.
Wow.
So what about you, Tony? What are some of your favorite pucks that you've gotten? I know you got one in Winnipeg a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Saw that video.
Yep, the Winnipeg one is probably my favorite, obviously, of the NHL, just because the only other ones that I've gotten are just standard regular black pucks, because the Wild just use no logos on theirs during warm-ups. But kind of like you showed off, I really like the warm-up pucks because it has the date of the game on it, which is really cool. It's so commemorative. It's so like you can only get it when you're there, and I really like that.
And that's, like you said, the really cool thing about it, because they do have the date. They do have the two teams that are playing.
Yep.
Yeah, the warm-up pucks are definitely pretty cool. And it sucks, too, because like you said, some teams, like the Wild, they use plain black ones for warm-ups.
Yep.
More and more teams are starting to do that. Usually, like all the NHL teams, they used to do it for every game, every season. Sometimes you'd even get game pucks like this in warm-ups. I've seen that a couple times before. But yeah, it's not like MLB where every season we could guarantee at least a couple commemoratives to chase after. But local hockey teams, you can't really guarantee anything. Like, other than special events, the Penguins, they don't really use special warm-up pucks.
Yep.
Unless it's for, like, Christmas or opening night or something like that. But, yeah. So, with that out of the way... Oh, and one more thing, too. I want MLB to take note about this. I know, like I said, we have certain commemoratives like seasons, the World Series. They don't do Mother's Day or Father's Day anymore. We still have All-Star games. But other than that, I really wish we saw commemoratives for different theme nights like that, like Pride Night, Star Wars Night.
Yeah.
What else? Different stuff like that. And then I also wish they had the logo on them instead of like just the regular MLB logo like that.
Or would you say even if they had to keep the MLB logo, put it in the colors of the team?
Yes, I would love that too. I know the Pecos League. Shout out to my buddies Brian and his daughter out in LA. They've gone to a couple Pecos League games before. And yeah, him and Tristan, that's his daughter.
Yep. Good follow if you like some baseball content, and right now in their off-season content, that's been really fun too.
Mm-hmm. Especially that Lowe's Pizza one.
Yep.
It just put up. But I know the Pecos League, they use balls with teams' logos, and then they do the stitching in the team's colors as well.
That's cool.
So I wish they did that too. And then yeah, they should just like both leagues, NHL, AHL, MLB, they should both expand with stuff like that. But yeah,
it's the easiest collectible. It's commemorative. People will pay money for it, especially if it's different.
Great marketing. Great marketing.
Agreed.
So with that out of the way, yeah, this whole puck saga, it makes me realize how long the off season really is.
And what do you have planned for off season plans?
Ooh, well, besides going to a ton of hockey games, chasing after a couple more pucks, I know they have a couple more scheduled. I don't really have much going on. You know, my dad has a traveling job for work, so I'm gonna try and travel with him a bit more. Try and get prepared for the season. I have big things planned for the season. Gonna try and travel a lot more.
Nice.
Gonna try and get this new ball snagging device figured out.
Any locations that you're looking at for 2024?
As a matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned that. I created a list of places that I want to travel to. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Where is it at? There it is. All right. So there's no really specific order to this, but we have First Energy Stadium in Reading, which for those of you who've known me for a while, I have been there. That's where I met Zach Hampel. That was my first game of the season 2 years ago. Or was it? I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year, 2022, first game of the season. Ironically, I snagged my first game home run there.
Nice.
Go figure. And then next we have Binghamton, New York, home to the Rumble Ponies. AA Mets. Their stadium's pretty funky. No outfield seating. There's a rail yard in left field from the looks of it. Yeah, definitely excited to go there. Then Harrisburg, the Senators. AA Washington Nationals, I think. I will put that in the description if I'm wrong about that, but similar thing, no outfield seating. There is a little bit in left field, but that's about it. Very small. Then we have State College for the State College Spikes. That's where Penn State plays as well. They're in the draft league. So I have been there once, very briefly. Then we have Williamsport. Everyone knows Williamsport. We have Altoona, famously known for their roller coaster in right field.
Not for their tuna.
Not for their tuna. Definitely not for their tuna. We have York, PA, which is in the Atlantic League. I believe they have a carousel. No, that's the next one, which is Lancaster. They have a carousel out in foul territory. Both of those are in the Atlantic League. So yeah, those are just a couple.
Nice. Going to any MLB games?
Hopefully, yes.
I take it.
Yes.
Take the Phillies.
Definitely gonna try and see at least one Phillies game. I always try to get to one a year. Gonna try and see what teams are using commemoratives again. Try and get to those. So
I hope that's announced pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, we'll take it by ear.
Nice.
What about you, Tony? What do you got going on?
Off season, not really too much. Just trying to plan my 2024. So, opening day is on March 28th, which is
extremely early.
It's also my birthday, so I'm turning.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm turning a big number, and it's gonna be fun. It's opening day for the Twins is down in Kansas City, so going down to Kansas City, making a road trip right away.
That's a fun birthday present to yourself.
Yep. And then let's see. I think gonna try to go out to Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, for that game down there. MLB is playing. It's going to be Giants versus Cardinals. First game in Alabama. So who knows what that's going to be like? It's
that
basically
like a fun one.
The
they
oldest.
Better have for that.
I hope so. They didn't in Iowa, so I'm kind of concerned about the one in Alabama, but they have to, right?
They
have to. And then Detroit, I'm going to do that for the 4th time in a row. So Aaron Johnson, be ready.
Yeah, Aaron. Shout out to Aaron Johnson.
And then maybe a trip to the Bay, because I still haven't had either of the stadiums out there on my channel yet. The last time I was out there was 2017, so before I started the channel. But I mean, it's going to be the last time I get to see the A's in Oakland.
Yeah, you got to see the Coliseum before it.
One last whiff of that clean air.
The fresh air and amazing atmosphere of
dozens of fans.
1+-year-old Oakland Coliseum.
Yep. And then hopefully finish it off with a non-baseball trip, go down to the beach somewhere and chill out.
I love that. That's usually how I end my summer. Go down to AC or something.
Yep.
Love the beach.
Yeah.
Sounds like some fun plans there from the two of us. We got it all covered.
I think so. There's going to be a lot of baseball content here in 2024.
For sure. Well, the months till March, they'll hopefully be over before we know it.
And I think that means that we're going to be over. With that, I am Tony. He's Aiden. And this has been Ballhawk Talk. And until next time.